Annyeonghaseyo, goeiedag, goedemiddag, good evening, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tianky101, and we are here today to play a few games. Not a few games, I'm lying. Why do I always lie when I start my videos? Okay, we're not here to play a few games, we're here to pick some new books via a little game-ish thing, and then we're also going to look at what I was able to read in October. This is not my wrap-up. This is just basically me telling you what I read before I choose my new TBR for December, seeing as December is slowly creeping closer. I will do an October wrap-up video soon to go through my thoughts and my feelings about the books I read in October. I'm quite happy with the progress I made in the past month or so, I think. But without further ado, let's get into the books that I actually did read this month. And also one book that I DNF'd. Poor DNF book. Well, it's not my fault. It was not my cup of tea. So I'm just not gonna apologize for it. I'm just not gonna apologize for it. So the first book that I was able to finish was part 1Q84 by Haruka Murakami. This was a book that I read, and I'm still not sure how I feel about it. In my October wrap-up, I might say a little bit more of this book. As of now, I haven't touched part 2 yet, but part 2 will forever and always be on my TBR. Whether it comes out in the game, or it comes out as a challenge, or whatever it comes out as, it will forever be in my TBR so that I can finish this little thick-ass book by Haruka Murakami. So that was the first one I'm finished. I'm very happy I finished it. I'm happy that I know kind of understand how Murakami writes. And I can see why people enjoy it, especially when it was explained to me that people enjoy reading him with smooth jazz in the background and a glass of whiskey. That's like the vibe that he gives. I'm not a drinker, I'm not a jazz listener, so I don't know what those people are talking about. They're just crazy. But I did manage to fulfill one of my hopes and dreams, one of my challenges for November, and that was to actually read some Korean books. And I did finish Love in the Big City by Sang Yong Park, which I am very, very happy about. It wasn't too bad. It was a quick read. I think I read it like in a day or two. So it was a quick, fun little read, and I'm happy that I was able to finally get some Korean literature in my life, as I haven't had that in a long time. In a very, very long time. Although I do live in the country, so I'm surrounded by Korean literature. Let's not go into details of that. Because I finished that book so quickly, I thought I would treat myself and jump into the world of written by N.K. Jemisin, and I decided to pick up The City We Became. And this was a book that I read, an experience that I had, and one that I will make a video about. My thoughts and feelings of this book is part of a duology, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if there's going to be a third book. The second book is The World We Make, which I'm 50-50 if I want to read it or not. So if you have read the duology, if you've read the other book, please let me know what you think and feel. Is it worth jumping into the second book? Because I had a very interesting experience with this book. But I am happy that I finally read N.K. Jemisin. I think she's an amazing, amazing author. And I'm excited to one day jump into the 5th season by her. I think it's the 5th season. After finishing that book, I got around to my second Korean book, which was Almond by Won Pyong-son, which is a very, very interesting book. It was a little bit of a disappointment, was a bit of a letdown. I think I only gave it about 3 stars or so. And although I did enjoy it, there were some disappointments for me. But the disappointments, I'm still debating whether are disappointments or whether it is actually the successful writing that made me a little bit disappointed. I thought I was going to cry, okay? Let's be honest. I thought I was going to cry in this book and I didn't cry. And I was disappointed because I didn't cry in the book. I thought it was going to be a heartfelt book and then it wasn't. But after that, I decided to try another book called Cruel Logic by Brian James Godowa. And no, this was a negative. No, no, thank you. No way, no ma'am, no how. I got 60 pages in and then I was just like DNF the shit out of this book because it just did not work for me at all. Again, I will go more into detail why it didn't work for me in my reading wrap-up. Sorry for any strange noises that my chair makes. My chair is a creaky chair. But no, I did not enjoy this book, so that was just a no for me. So that one was just goodbye. We don't want to see it. We don't want to talk about it. It's not for us. Then lastly, the last book that I finished was the amazing, the wonderful, the one that everybody has been talking about, Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Of course I read this book. Of course I pre-ordered it. Of course I enjoyed it. And of course I gave it about 4 stars. Just 4 stars though. Some things here and there that I weren't the biggest fan of. But I did enjoy it, and I'm excited for the next book, which hasn't been announced, so we don't have a date or any information about it. So we're just gonna sit and wait and wait and wait and wait for the next book. But I finished this literally last night. Literally like 11:30 at night, I finished it. And it was a wild, wild ride of a book. But those were my reads for November that I'm going to count towards November. Unfortunately, for my Korean challenge, I did not get a chance to read Pachinko, and I did not get a chance to read 7 Years of Darkness, which hopefully one day. They will be on my shelf, they will be there, they will be waiting for me to read one day, and maybe one day I will get to them. I'm not sad or I'm not disappointed. As most people are, we are mostly mood readers, so we do tend to read what we wanted to. But now that that's out of the way, let's jump into my TBR Tin meets TBR Tarot Card Game Episode 1. Yay. Okay. So, before I jump into my Chupa Chups, which is my tin with my TBR thing in, I must first show that I made a little oopsie. So, I printed it and then I printed wrong, so it printed on both sides. So that was a little bit of oopsie that I made. But that's okay. Whatever I pick out, whatever the camera reads first, that is the one that I will do. I'm excited to try out first. We are going to pick out 3 books, 3 TBRs out of here, and then we're gonna do the little tarot card that I printed. I know it doesn't look very nice. Like, don't judge, okay? We're working on a budget. It's a budget. There's budget problems. So I am gonna use 3 prompts from this one prompt from this, and then I have another book lined up because I'm flying back to South Africa and I already have the book that I want to fly with. So without further ado, let's see what we are going to pick. Let's mess it up. Let's mess it up. Let's mess it up. My TBR tin. I wish I had a TBR board game. That would have been so much more fun. Okay, let's just pick one card. And what does it say? Ooh, black cover. We can do that. Wow, look at how skewed I cut that. My word, I cannot cut to save my life. The other side is actually cut a full spine, but a black cover, I can work with a black cover. Okay. Let's put that one down. So that's number 1, a black cover. I've got a few of those, actually, to be fairly honest. But what do I want to read? That's the question. Okay. Next one. For book number 2, it's ta-da! A grim, dark fantasy. What exactly entails a grim, dark fantasy? I have a book that is on its way that I ordered that I think might maybe it would work with this one. It's more horror, but it's also fantasy, so I'm gonna just throw it in there instead. So I already have my idea of what I'm going to do with that one. Okay, last one for our 3 books, and then we're gonna do a tarot card. Waba. Set in Spas. Space. Oh, the other side's a mafia romance. Thank goodness. I'm not in the mood. I'm not a mafia romance reader, so my bad. Set in space. I am happy with that one. I think I already have an idea of what I can read. What I can read for those 3. Or for 2 of them, I know already. The black cover, I'm not sure, but I will. I don't even have them on I don't even have physical books of them, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Next, we're going to go look at our TBR Tarot over here. That it looks like this. And then the back side. Oh, I got these. I bought these off of Etsy. I'm not creative enough to make these. I bought them off Etsy. If you are interested in them, I'll put the links down below so you can go and check it out. It was cheap. It was cheap. So yeah, let me just take out the cover one, and then let's just start mixing them, and then I will do eyes closed. This one, because these ones are a little bit deeper. These ones are usually things that you won't, if you're not if you're just like a fantasy person, then usually these will push you out of your comfort zone because they can get a little bit intense. Okay. So I close my eyes. And we're gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with this one. What does it say? What does it say? Can you even read that? Yes, you can. And this says, ooh, try reading a memoir. I know exactly. I think I know exactly which book. I need to try and find the book first. That I need to first do. I need to first try and find that book. But I think I already know which book I want to read. But we need to get that book. Is it available on Kindle Unlimited? Let me quickly check. I need to remember what the name is of that book. So my mind is running away with me. So I will be right back. Yeah, I will be right back. I need to go do a little bit of research. And we're back again. My books have been chosen. I am ready to go through what my TBR will look like for the month of December, which I'm kind of excited about. The first one we got was a black cover. So the black cover, I immediately thought of The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. That was my first thought, but then I saw another black cover and I was like, I'm sorry, Erin, love you, love Night Circus, but I'm gonna put you to the side and we are gonna go for If We Were Villains. I've been wanting to read this book for a while now, and finally I can put it on my TBR. So, If We Were Villains is on my TBR because it has a black cover. Thank you, ML Rio, for If We Were Villains. So yeah, for those who don't know, this follows a bunch of I almost said scholars, students who are acting students and who love Shakespeare, and then a murder occurs. So this is a dark academia book. We need to find out who done it, or we know who done it. We just need to find out how he done it, how she done it. I don't know who done it at the end. I haven't read the book. So that's what this is all about, but I'm very excited. I try not to know too much about this book as I just know people have been raving about it. So I'm putting If We Were Villains, I'm putting up there for my TBR. The first one. The second one is a grim dark fantasy. Now, I don't know exactly what they mean with a grim dark fantasy, but there is a book that I recently got ordered that I'm waiting to arrive, and it is called The Book Eaters. And I just have to read the synopsis of this. It's a sci-fi, it's a fantasy, it's a dark, it's horror, it's going to get grim and dark, I think. So, out of the Yorkshire moors lives a secret line of people from whom books are food and who retain all of a book's content after eating it. To them, spy novels are a peppery snack, romance novels are sweet and delicious, eating a map can help them remember destinations, and children, when they misbehave, are forced to eat dry, musty pages from dictionaries. Devon is part of the family, an old and reclusive clan of book eaters. Her brothers grow up feasting on stories of valor and adventure, and Devon, like all other book eater women, is raised on a carefully curated diet of fairy tales and cautionary stories. But real life doesn't always come with happy endings, as Devon learns when her son is born with a rare and darker kind of hunger, not for books, but for human minds. Doesn't that just sound grimdark? I think that's a grimdark fantasy. I mean, people eating books, people wanting to eat minds, like, I'd say that's a grimdark fantasy if ever I heard one. But I could be completely wrong. If you have a better definition of grimdark fantasy, please tell me. Please let me know down in the comments below. The next one we have is a book that is set in space. Now, that was so easy, so quick. My mind immediately went to Winter's Orbit. Now, I can't remember exactly what this is about. I just know that it is an LGBTQ book representative. Why am I? No, I don't want to. No, don't open the book. Don't open. Don't, don't open the book, please. Winter's Orbit. Let's try that again. I'm sorry, I'm sucking at this. So this is part of a duology. The second book is Ocean's Echoes. But this says Prince Kiem, a famously disappointing minor royal and the Emperor's least favorite grandchild, has been called upon to be useful for once. He's commanded to fulfill an obligation of marriage to the representative of the Empire's newest and most rebellious vassal planet. His future husband, Count Janan, is a widower and murder suspect. Neither wants to be wed, but with a conspiracy unfolding around them and the fate of the Empire at stake, they will have to navigate the thorns and barbs of court intrigue, the machinations of war, and the long shadows of Janan's past, and they'll have to do it together. So begins a legendary love story amid the stars. So cute. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I didn't even have to think. That one just jumped into my mind. And it is on Kindle Unlimited, so go get it on Kindle Unlimited for a little bit of a gay romance. Why don't you? Interstellar gay romance. Who's not? Who's not about that life? I'm about that life. And the last one the tarot we got is to read a memoir. Now, I'm not very well versed in the world of memoirs, but there is a book that I saw that I want to read called Yakuza Moon. So this is going to be my pick for a memoir, as it is Yakuza Moon, Memoirs of a Gangster's Daughter. So it says Yakuza Moon is the shocking yet intensely moving memoir of 37-year-old Shoko Tendo, who grew up the daughter of a Yakuza boss. Tendo lived her life in luxury until the age of 6 when her father was sent to prison and her family fell into terrible debt. Bullied by classmates who called her the Yakuza girl, and terrorized at home by a father who became a drunken, violent monster after his release from prison, Tendo rebelled. A regular visitor to nightclubs at the age of 12, she soon became a drug addict and a member of a girl gang. By the age of 15, she found herself sentenced to 8 months in a juvenile detention center. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to read more. I don't want to know more. I just want to go into this book knowing little to nothing about the books. So yeah, these are my picks. This is my TBR, my small TBR. I am not a fast reader. I'm a slow reader, so that's why I'm only taking a few books with me, and then I also mood read as we readers do, and I just decided that, you know what, I'm not going to be too hard on myself in this month of December. There's also a winter romance that I have that I also want to try to get to, maybe as when we hit Christmas, to jump into that one, but that is worries for another day. That is where I'm going to leave you with this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you are as excited as I am about my TBR. What will you be reading in December? Any nice, cozy, wintry romances that you're jumping into? I know many people are looking for that right now, to cozy up while the snow falls, although the snow doesn't fall where I live, but I'll deal with it. I'll make peace with it. But yeah, let me know. And as always, don't let fear interfere with your happiness. You deserve all the happiness in the world. Groete, liefde, vrede, vreugde, geluk, blijdschap, liefde. Allemaal dinkies vir julle. Until next time, Bye bye.